Syireen and I have known each other for 7 or 8 years. I was blessed. Oh my goodness, 8, really? Wow. I was blessed to go over to Malaysia and speak at an event over there, several events. And I was treated like a queen. It was the best time ever. And we kind of connected at a deeper level. Although Syireen was very nice and she showed me around, we did connect at a deeper level, and we've kind of been off and on in touch ever since. And when she said she wanted to join Collaboration Global, I was over the moon. So I'm really excited for her to share today her joy and her passion and her love, which happens to be her business as well. So over to you, Syireen. I'm just going to put you on to speak of you so that we get the full version.
Thank you, Jill, and thank you, everybody. I promised Jill that I'll keep it as much as possible to my passion. And I think she mentioned a little bit about me being a wordsmith. It's really something that my colleagues, my peers in my industry titled me, gave that as a gift to me, and recently as the word coach. And so I have really been in my entire life being a lover of words. And I really didn't understand at that time how powerful it was. I used to write a lot, poetry, short stories, and when somebody liked it, I'll just give it away. So I have no idea how much those were worth. I think I could have made a lot of money, but I give them all away. And it wasn't until recently that I realized that words are such powerful triggers. And the more that I got connected and reconnected to people outside of my country, I realized how careless we can be with words, and how that affects how we show up and how we are being with other people. So I'm just going to share screen in a moment. These are just some of the slides that I took out of my other work. And today I really want to talk about the power of words in beingness. And I want to thank I think both Alex and Jill, because they literally did all the work for me as an introduction of be, do, have, and being uncomfortable, asking uncomfortable questions. So before I begin, fair to say that a lot of us here are very familiar with the concept of beingness. It's not something new to be being more aware, being more enlightened. But what I've really found in my passion as words is how the power of words, how powerful it is in the creation of the being, and how it can cut across context without us actually having to really change so much. I think a lot of people would say that you have to be aware of your context and be befitting of the environment. But what I really understood, and after so many years looking at it, I realized that if you could really understand our values and how we want to show up and how we want to be, we can be completely flat across borders, and not having to apologize or excuse ourselves being different people just because we're in different contexts. I'm going to share that with you. And at the end of the session, I'm going to throw 3 tools that I use with my clients to help with the understanding of being. So just a little bit about me before I go forward. This is me. I'm a daughter. If you see my mom, that was 3 generations. And then, of course, my daughter grew, and I'm a wife and mother. I'm an avid traveler. I speak, I moderate, I train, I coach. I'm also a community leader. And I speak to a lot of leaders. And one of those I love is our previous Prime Minister, Tuan Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. And this is everything that I have become after I really understood the power of words and beingness. 10 years ago, you wouldn't see this person in front of you. I have spent about 40 years of my life not understanding what beingness is all about. I lived my entire life being what other people expected of me. So my understanding of being is to be what other people want me to be. So when I wrote, I would write what people expect me to write. When I presented, I'll present what other people expect me to present. When I led based on what other people expected me to become, or the kind of leader that I was. And it was such a long journey for me to really understand why being clear about my truth is not to apologize if my truth does not match the person in front of me. And this is, I think, a powerful thing. When we're talking about collaboration, we're talking about unity, we're talking about love, we talk about humanity, we all understand this word. But in actual fact, I ask you, I put it to you, how many of us really actually hold the same meaning? We're such meaning-making machines because of the experience we have with the word. So even when we talk about collaboration, at what level do we agree that it is collaboration? When we talk about love and humanity, at what level do we actually agree this is what love means and this is what humanity means? There's a lot of conversation that we need to really understand, because across borders, we have our own worldviews, we have our own belief systems, we have our own culture, lifestyle, social status. A lot of things goes into this, and one word may have multiple facets to it. So this is really my mantra. Your choice of word is a reflection of you. And this is really interesting for me because the more I study words and the more I coach, the more I listen to patterns and how people would say something and actually mean something else, or say something and really want that thing to really resonate with the person they're communicating with. And if you listen and listen and listen carefully, words are such powerful triggers that really it becomes a mismatch of a lot of experiences that if you don't really understand or control it, we can't see whether we are currently speaking from our past, or we're speaking in present, or for our hope of the future. So I really feel that understanding what I think I wrote this somewhere. I love this conversation about taking a stand, the pirate code, having a stand. This is so important in beingness, because I feel that without really being clear on your stand and knowing your values, we can completely be in integrity with ourselves. One of the examples I really enjoyed listening to, one of my mentors were talking to me, and it really hit me about the word integrity. A lot of us will just see somebody doing something that you feel is out of integrity. You will go to this person and say, hey, that was not right. You know, you're out of integrity. Those words you chose, the things you said, is just not right. And I realized that from this conversation, if I just step out of it, whose integrity are we talking about? Because this person who just said, it's completely in integrity with themselves, because it's who he is or who she is. This is who she is being. And these are the words that she has chosen to describe herself. So we talk about integrity. Whose integrity? So again, coming back to our conversation about when we want to be with an international community, and we want to be in collaboration, be in love. I love what Collaboration Global is doing. And I really feel that it's going to make so much change and ripple effects that can really shift humanity by 100%. If we can really understand at a certain level how we can all be with each other, and removing every single layers of worldview, lifestyle, and really agree to what this word means to us. And so we can be one. So, so what is the truth about us that we need to understand in our beingness? So I invite everyone to just probably just find a sheet of paper. I think there's a lot running around on the internet that will give you like a couple of values that may resonate with you. You can work on it and just find out what are the really important values that you're stand for, and how much are you willing to stand in the heat for it, stand in the heat, like really stand and be in integrity without swaying when you're changing your space or context. How much are we willing to be and really see that this is my truth, and you don't have to agree with my truth, but this is who I want to be. And how much are we willing to do that? Because I feel if we are so willing to be, we will not be having all this discomfort or wars or unhappiness in the world. And I'm not sure what time, but I want to share with you why I do what I do. As I mentioned, I am a wordsmith. I write a lot. I am an influencer, and I do a lot of work with a lot of people. I'm leaders of leaders. And I feel that if I am not clear about my beingness, and I am not clear about what I'm going to stand for, it's really hard for me to lead over 220 people in my region. And it never occurred to me that it was possible for me. And it took me 10 years to build myself to where I am today. And it all started with someone telling me, if only you knew how to be, you could harness that power and control this entire room and have them all do your bidding. I didn't understand that until I understood that I had to be comfortable in my own skin and be able to stand in the heat. Even if the person in front of me does not agree with me, I have to say that I won't budge because this is my truth and this is what I want to be. And I was just mentioning to Sarah, Carol, and Keith just now, it's really about us being clear about who we are and not wanting to budge, and being able to stand in the heat and just be. I'm not sure that I'm getting this across. So I feel that if we have those values within us, and we are clear about the words that we want to associate ourselves with, even in silence and just showing up in any space, I think these words are heard. If you want to stand in the room and be seen as a strong person, I think this is seen even in silence. I feel that even if you have a good relationship with the values that you have set up for yourself, you are constantly heard as a being. So these are a couple of 3 tools that I wanted to share with you in terms of beingness. I call this the 3H self. I believe that every one of us go through this process. Some days we are able to these are the words that we say to ourselves: it's been done to me, or it's not fair. And so we become a victim. And then some days we say that I'm here to save the day, and I'm enabling the victims, and we become a savior. And then some days you become a bully because you blame everybody else and you try to fault somebody. And I think this is something that resonated with me when Alex said, no one is coming to save you. This is really, really important. And in actual fact, if you could really understand that you don't have to be this entire bully, victim, savior, it's just to increase our awareness of who we want to be, and this is not what we want to be, we can actually cut the cord. So that what I've learned is to understand the cycle of life. And if you could just think about it, about how you have experienced life. Here, I wanted to share with you that all feelings are equal, and there's energy to this. Give me a second. I can't see my own slide. Yeah, and do you guys see the slide? This energy, yeah. So I've actually color coded it: purple, orange, and green. And this is actually what we go through this is a pattern. And if you could just follow me on this one, it's 100% you, and then you hear something, a word, or something that you experience, because you are such meaning-making machines. When we hear a word, we get triggered and we'll be put into a situation where you have experienced this, either pain, joy, happiness, whatever it is. Usually, it makes you feel uncomfortable. And these triggers will create some form of behaviors, like you get upset, you go out, you get busy, or you pick up a cigarette, or you drink. And you start to spiral into these emotions of unhappiness or anger or disappointment. And it takes you a couple of days or a couple of hours before you take action, so you can release this emotion and return to 100% me. So you can understand that everything is energy, that if you create your awareness, and this is the being that I want to be, the moment you experience the triggers, you can cut the experience of my behavior and my feeling, because my triggers and my actions actually have the same emotions, has the same energy. So you can just switch off the negative and go to the positive. Think about this. If you ever experienced like excitement or nervousness to go to work, or getting excited for your first date, or getting very nervous to see your first grade for your math exam, that is butterfly feelings in your stomach, yes? They're all the same energy. but one is negative and one is positive. If we knew that the energy is actually equal, when you understand the feelings, you can just switch and get straight to the positivity and release and be 100% me. And I call that cutting the cord. I was trying to be really, really fast, Jill. did I did I make the 10 minutes mark?
It was brilliant. Thank you. You're like me when you're trying to go fast. It's like, yeah, so much to come out to.
I hope that added value to everybody. I'm not sure if I got that, because I really wanted to share about how it is important that from the word, you can really choose what word that reflects your beingness, and to constantly be in practice to show up with those words clearly in your minds, because those are your values, and to be in integrity with them. And that progressively in practice, you can be completely flat. No matter where you are, you're the same person, whether you're at work, you're at home, your friends, you're in your spiritual space, you're just this person, and it's non-negotiable.